So I'll go ahead and recognize Mr. Jimmy Sandlin. He's the general manager for Holston Electric. He has some words to share with us today. So Mr. Sandlin, at this time, come on forward.
Sure. Do you mind if I just sit here?
Yes, please.
Is it appropriate? Okay, thank you. Well, my name is Jimmy Sandlin. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to Mr. Roach and the members of the Budget Committee. We've been, we have 95 employees, and we've been in business since 1940, and it is our goal and effort every day to be a good corporate citizen of the community, of the counties we serve, the cities we serve in. We're reminded very recently of the dangers of our business. Our linemen are out working on lines, and we also have broadband techs that are working, using either climbing poles or using aerial devices. So we're trying to do a good job. We're trying to do a safe job, and we're also trying to keep rates, reasonable and practical for our customers. I am the general manager of Holston Electric Cooperative and Holston Connect. I've been in the utility business about 36 years. The last 28 of those, I've been the general manager of the CEO of the utility that I work for. And actually 20 years of that I've been either in the cable TV business or the broadband business. So I've got a lot of experience as far as providing broadband services and also cable TV services. As we sit here today, Holston Connect, we created Holston Connect in 2017 after the state legislature, General Assembly, passed a law that authorized electric co-ops to get into the broadband business. There were quite a number of Tennesseans that didn't have access to good broadband services, and Hawkins County was certainly one of those areas. All across our service area, there were about 40% of our customers that didn't have access to broadband, and that represented about 10,000 homes. So as we looked at broadband, and the services that we could provide there, it's a business. We got to generate revenues. We got to pay expenses. We got to hire people. In fact, we've hired about 23 people that is working on this broadband system. So we've had a fair amount of success since we started providing services in the fall of 2018. As we sit here today, we serve over 14,000 broadband customers. About 98% of those take internet. 13.3% of those customers take telephone service, and 13.6% of those customers take Holston TV, which is an app-based service that we provide TV services with. One of the things I wanted to do, my goal today, was to get you to understand there's certainly differences in how TV or video services are delivered by specific companies. There are traditional cable companies like Charter, who now goes by Spectrum, Comcast, who now goes by Xfinity, and those folks typically would have facilities in a community, and so you've also got satellite TV providers. You used to have DirecTV, and I think now all you've got is Dish. And then about probably 5 to 6, 7, 8 years ago, I'm not exactly sure when, streaming TV providers started. And these would be like YouTube TV, Hulu, and the Holston TV. So as a demonstration, if you have a smartphone and you can get your smartphone and go to the App Store, and if you just bear with me, just go to the App Store and search for Holston TV. And if you haven't, prior to this meeting or prior to needing it, select Holston TV, and it will come up, and it's got an app that was designed actually by a lady who used to work for us. And if you haven't downloaded, click to download the app. And certainly if you're one of our electric customers, which most likely you are, I think there are members of the commission that are in Mount Carmel or Kingsport, so there's a couple, I think, that are not Holston Electric power customers. And if you are our power customers in our service area, we're not allowed to provide broadband services outside our electric footprint by state law. So, so that's what comes up when you start the app. And if you want the TV service, the Holston TV service, then you have to subscribe to that, and it takes your account number and a password that we set up in the system. So what I've demonstrated to you is how our TV is delivered. It's delivered with no wires. It's an app-based streaming TV service, much in the same way as YouTube TV or Hulu. We do have some boxes that are Android boxes that also are able to download the app, but the entire way we deliver this service is through an app. So we continue to provide TV services. The cost of doing so is actually outpaced our retail rates a little bit. And when we started providing TV service in 2019, we were hoping to make it 5 years or so without raising rates, because one of the things we always talk about in the electric business is the little old lady at the end of the line, and typically those little old ladies are on Social Security. We've got some older folks, veterans and retired people, and TV has become very, very expensive. And the driver for that has been sports programming. There's 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the NFL that are making $50 million a year. I don't know how much it should cost us to have a quarterback, but $50 million a year seems to be a little excessive. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and point out there is differences in how TV services is delivered. And I know the big question about is why aren't we paying franchise fees? And the reason that is because Holston TV is not a video service, it's not a cable service, and those are definitions that are really formed by the Federal Communication Commission. One of the things that many localities are struggling with around the country is more and more people go and choose to use streaming TV services. These localities, cities, counties, whoever, that were formerly receiving franchise fees, and basically that's a tax. It's a fee that is collected by the provider and then remitted to the local franchise authority, whether that be a city or a county. So, you can search on the internet yourself. There are lawsuits. There are discussions in a lot of those different cities and counties about how to replace that lost franchise fee, in a sense, tax revenue. So when the electric co-ops work with the legislature, work with the General Assembly to get the Broadband Expansion Act passed in 2017, one of the things that was going to happen because of the regulation of TVA, and all this kind of started with EPB Chattanooga, all of the fiber that we have built is over on the electric side of the business, and it is taxed as property. So we pay property taxes on all that fiber. So while it may be that you have not received any franchise fee monies from us, you've received additional property tax monies from us at the tune of about $914,000. Across our whole system, which includes part of Hamlin County and the various cities that exist in Hawkins County, we paid $1.2 million in property taxes on our fiber plant. And we call our plant basically the collection of wires and poles and everything, all the hardware that's out there running up and down the county right-of-ways, the city right-of-ways. And the reason that franchise fees were imposed by cities 20, 30 years ago is because those cable companies were using the right-of-ways. It's hard to determine you know, how much property they had out there. So the cities just said, you know what, we'll just look at your revenue and we'll take 5% of your revenue. And so that's what they did. Now the cable companies obviously built in their rates to recover that on the TV revenues. So we have paid $914,000 in property taxes to Hawkins County since we started building our broadband system, our fiber system that's everybody calls Holston Connect. And so, as we make investments in our electric cooperative, then the fiber has basically increased the property taxes that we have paid to Hawkins County, to Hamlin County, and to the cities in Hawkins County that we serve customers. Cable TV companies do not pay property taxes. All they pay is the franchise fees. Satellite companies pay neither property taxes or franchise fees. Streaming companies do not pay property taxes or franchise fees. However, Holston Electric Co-op pays property taxes on its fiber plant and does not feel that it would be fair to really tax our customers twice. So you either pay property taxes on fiber or you pay the franchise fees on TV only. And that's a real key point to make is we're paying property tax based on the formula that we pay property tax by for the fiber that is used for TV, for the fiber that's used for the internet, for the fiber that's used for the telephone service, and for the fiber that's used for our electric system. We have the ability currently to read everybody's meter remotely. We can also verify whether or not your power's on or off. We also have substations. We have 13 substations scattered around the service area, and it's important for us to receive data and be able to control that equipment that's in those substations so that we can provide the highest level of reliability that we can. And we don't always, provide 100% power all the time, but we try, and we make investments in our system every day to do that. In summary, we are really proud that we were able to build out fiber to all the customers in our service area. There's still people in Hawkins County, specifically Mount Carmel and Kingsport, that don't have access to, real good broadband that we feel like Holston Connect is. And, we did that in the midst of the pandemic. Folks were having to stay at home for whatever reason. We were all afraid we were going to make each other sick, and 25% of the population was going to die. So we were made to stay at home. We had to wear a mask. We couldn't gather in large groups. We had to social distance. We remember all this stuff now. It was a terrible time, and so we were fortunate that interest rates were low. Tennessee had passed this law, and we had a board of directors. Several of those are with me today, and the staff is with me as well. They were willing to take on that job of building broadband out into Hawkins County and Hamlin County and the cities that we serve. And it was no small task. I mean, our co-op has invested $45 million to build about 1,500 miles of fiber that we operate and extend service to each and every day. As I said before, we created 23 jobs for us to be able to operate that system every day. We've paid all across our system $1.23 million in ad valorem property taxes, and to repeat, $914,000 has come directly to Hawkins County specifically for that fiber that we have invested in Hawkins County. And I would just ask you to consider that Holston Connect, Holston Electric is a good corporate citizen of Hawkins County, and we certainly pay our fair share, and we don't feel like franchise fees. We don't feel like there's really no margin in TV. People ask me all the time, why in the world are you still doing TV when there's no really margin in it? But we offer it as a service to our community because they like to get one bill, and when we can offer the TV, internet, and the telephone, it becomes an attractive package for people. I just respectfully ask that you give us an opportunity to share information and, kind of avoid litigation. As I said, we haven't paid franchise fees, but we paid a lot of taxes, property taxes, on the fiber plant that is providing, that TV service. And I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sandlin. Before anyone asks any questions, Mr. Cap, do you have something you'd like to share with the committee?
Two things, I guess. We already are part of the suit. You have made a note of we are one of the parties in the suit. There is probably an issue of whether Hawkins County participates or not. It's not going to avoid the eventual determination, the ultimate determination by the courts, whether the CCA code applies to your services. The other thing I would suggest is that because of the flexibility we've seen, perhaps in the parties, the resolution which was presented last month at the commission meeting and pulled regarding retiring outside counsel represent us, I would suggest that it's probably best to postpone that decision and not make that decision until perhaps things have a chance to work out among the parties.
Mr. Sandlin, I know some of us probably have questions, but unfortunately, since we're in the lawsuit as we speak, through a notice of appearance, it's probably not appropriate for me to ask anything that I might have, but I do appreciate you coming. But the other members of the committee are elected officials, and they can do as they please. So if there are questions that you would like to ask or things you'd like to say, I'd certainly like to give you the opportunity because you certainly have the right to do so.
Well, and I'd also add that, we're all neighbors. We live in Hawkins County. Our 95 employees, live in Hawkins and Hamlin County and serve, you all every day. And we certainly want to be a good neighbor and be a responsible corporate citizen, to Hawkins County and the cities, municipalities that we serve.
And I would like to add, it is on my advice that because we are a party, that they not have a conversation without council present, discuss things. So that they would all love to work with you individually, but I've been trying to stamp that down because they are a party to the lawsuit.
Mr. Cal, did I hear you correctly? You're recommending that we not make a decision on this resolution this month? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I would suggest, yes. That it's too early in the proceedings. We are a part of the proceedings, so we have options either way. If we decide the resolution is not going to go forward, I will probably file an answer and a cross claim just as a procedural matter. But that also gives the Hawkins County becomes one of the parties that will be discussing the resolution of the issue.
So, Mr. Chairman, understanding and respecting what you said there in regard to the lawsuit, I do just have one more technical question just to make sure I understood what you were saying correctly. For as far as accessing the TV application in a home, does it require a device to do so, like an Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, or your provided Android device? You're not able to do that with the traditional broadband wire cable that you plug in, twist in. Is that correct?
It's the Holston TV is an app-based TV service that has to be, in a sense, riding on a device. Mm-hmm. And it could be an iPhone, an iPad, it could be a laptop connected to Wi-Fi, and it's really, generic to, it's not specific to a device like a traditional cable TV company would rent to a customer. Because you used to have to go to the cable company and you'd get a box, and it was their box. You couldn't get it anywhere else. There was no other way to get that TV but through their box. Our system's not that way.
So essentially, so it don't matter what internet provider one may have, they can still access Holston TV, is that correct?
That's true. You can, we have people that take internet from another provider and get TV from us.
So the fiber optic is merely for internet, is that correct?
Yeah.
Thank you, that was all my questions.
Anyone else? All right, Mr. Sandlin, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I so appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay, so that takes us on to the resolutions. And it looks like the first one that we need to hear is 20, I think it's listed as,
23.
yeah, it's listed as 23 on the agenda, but in the resolution itself, it's 2024. And to allow the Terry Law Firm to enter into litigation on its behalf against Holston Connect in reference to franchise fees not being paid.
I'm the sponsor of that under the advice of Mr. Talcott. I'm going to pull that for consideration, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, can we back up one step, come here and get that set up?
Yes, sir.
That, the contingency where if something were to happen to that ambulance still applies, that Hawkins County would become owners. If something-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Set up like the
Yeah.
last one,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes.
2024-09-08, authorizing the use of Sequoia's Volunteer Fire Department for fire service coverage of Phipps Bend Industrial Park per the attached document of the agreement. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Gillen. Any discussion?
Are we good to go as October 1st if this passes?
Yeah, we'll probably be the last ones to okay it. Sequential DMA's already done it, and they're ready to go October 1st.
Any other questions? Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Jason Roach.
Yes.
Nancy Barker. Tom Kern.
Yes.
John Gibson.
Yes.
And Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.